welcome back to Weird Soda for Life. Have y'all ever considered that before a cyborg becomes a cyborg, they are prebiotic? Ah? Ah? You get it anyway. Welcome back. Sorry for the hiatus last week. Mr. Weird has been having some stomach troubles, and so I said to myself, we gotta sort out his stomach trouble before I sort out my stomach trouble. um, but in all seriousness, Mr. Weird is on the mend. He was just feeling under the weather last week. He's still a little bit under the weather this week too. But the show must go on, if only because I've got to clear the soda out of my fridge. But today we are trying a thing that's supposedly good for your gut health, prebiotic Pepsi. Now, I know what you're thinking. Didn't you try a bunch of things like Poppi and Olipop um a couple years ago? You're right. I did. And boy, was that a mixed bag. And boy, did that kind of upset my stomach. But we are back again because what do? I suffer for you. But let's talk a little bit about prebiotic Pepsi. Now, I think this is kind of cool. Places like not places, but prebiotic and probiotic soda makers like Olipop and Poppi have their own cola flavor. So it's kind of nice to see a name. I don't want to say that they aren't name brands, but they are name brands for the prebiotic and probiotic market. So it's kind of cool to see an established name brand, if you will, soda company really get into the whole prebiotic probiotic thing. What's fascinating about this is that it is Pepsi. Now, not to say that Pepsi had some sort of blood feud with the idea of microbes in your gut. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. I'm not in that boardroom. But over the past couple years, Pepsi has fallen from being second behind Coca Cola to, I believe, third behind Coca Cola, Dr. Pepper, and then now Pepsi. So for me, this reads a whole lot like them going, hey, the old ways of what we are doing isn't working. So we have to try something new. And for that, I mean, that's the premise on this channel, right? Is like, give me the weird stuff, give me the new things you're trying. So I was gonna say I'm stoked to try this, but again, prebiotic and probiotic things do tend to upset my stomach. I guess what that's telling me is that my stomach is messed up. Uh, so, and you're not helping. But I am genuinely thrilled about this. So let's get into this a little bit. First, as a brief reminder, prebiotics and probiotics are not the same. So, like, probiotics are like the live bacteria that get into your stomach. It's like a refresher, right? It's like, hey, we got new neighbors moving in. Prebiotics, though, are different. They're there to fuel the stuff that's already in there. This is like, I was going to come up with a good equivalent, but I can't. But it's pretty much the equivalent of, hey, everything in there, everybody in there is fine, but you guys could use a little help to keep it going strong. So it's kind of like probiotics are like the seed, and prebiotics are like Miracle Grow, for lack of a better word. Um, so that's sort of the difference, and we've talked a little bit about that. Maybe I need a little bit of both. But talking about prebiotic Pepsi in particular, if you haven't seen it, it's come out fairly recently. It did have a limited release during Black Friday in 2025, but it really hit the streets like nationwide in February of this year. There are two flavors. I only have the one. Um, I haven't had an opportunity really to look for the other one, but I will. I well, I take it back. I will, depending on how good this is, because I will suffer and be surprised by my suffering once. I will not suffer twice. Well, at least I won't intentionally suffer twice. I feel like that's a good philosophy. Put that on a T-shirt. I will not suffer twice. Um, but so Pepsi though, prebiotic Pepsi comes in two flavors. Right now we have the OG flavor. This is supposed to just be Pepsi, original cola, if you will. The other flavor that they have is a cherry vanilla. Now, if this is good, I would be willing to try the cherry vanilla. Um, My concern, though, is that having had other prebiotic and probiotic cola flavors, none of them have been particularly good. They've tasted a whole lot like apple cider vinegar. Um, and if I'm drinking a cola or a cola substitute, I want it to taste is about as close as you can get, or at least Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi flavored, right? We're in the general area. But the cool thing about this is you can find this in 12 packs and 8 packs, which is super cool. Uh, I did spot it in the aisle of my local grocery store, just hanging out right next to the actual Pepsi. I do like that the marketing of it is just going, yep, this is a new thing. Um, so I really do appreciate that. But I do want to point out a couple of things. We will look at the can in a minute. Um, but I do want to point out I learned as I was doing research that like the motto for this is uh, unbelievably Pepsi, which sounds like a weird backhanded compliment for a thing that you're putting out that is name brand. It's like going, that's unbelievably cheese. And like you would use that for American cheese. That's not cheese. Like I love it, but it's not cheese. So is this Pepsi or not? Um, but looking at the design, I love this sleek design. It's obviously a part of the Pepsi family. I love that it's distinctly different though, right? But I want to point out something to you. So you can see up here, no artificial sweeteners, 30 calories, okay? 3 grams of prebiotic fiber. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're about to burst this bubble, and you're right. Uh, commonly, to get the benefits of prebiotic, like juice, if you will, getting it fueled up, you need like 10 grams of prebiotic fiber. So, if you're going to have this, in order to essentially get to the point where you're getting like the healthy amount of prebiotic fuel for your bacteria friends in your stomach, you're drinking the equivalent of like 3 1/3 cans of this, which gets you up to 100 calories. And also, like, I'm doing the math quickly. I should have done the math before. That's 40 ounces of liquid. Like, that's a lot of liquid, guys. That's 220 ounces. Look, pressed by that math? Yeah. But, like, the point is so this is selling itself. And again, we talked a little bit about this in my series of videos. This is selling this concept of health, but it's not real. Like, I mean, it's real, but it's not well, legitimate, for lack of a better word. It's teasing you in with the idea that this is a healthy thing and you're going to get what you need to get your stomach. Let's get ready to grumble, I guess. That dang, I wasted that on y'all. but um but you need more than what's in actually one serving, if you will, of a can. And so, like, that's not legit. I will give this. Poppy is also in the same boat. Poppy only has 2 grams of prebiotic fiber. The only one that actually gets even close in a 12-ounce can is that Olipop, which has like 9 grams. And I was not a fan of the classic cola flavor. I wasn't a fan of the Poppy classic cola flavor either. Um, so I guess what I'm saying to you is again with all of these things, like we talked about in a lot of our old videos about like those sodas that were created in the 1890s and things like that, that were created as cure-alls. Cure-alls cure nothing. Like they're real. It's fake. So this may taste good, and if you like it, and if I like it, I mean, hey, I'm not going to judge. But be aware that in order to get the healthy amount of that prebiotic fiber to get those benefits that you're hoping for, you're going to need more than one of these. So I guess it is convenient that they sell it in 8 and 12 packs. With that, let me stop raining on this parade and let's try this, shall we? So, ooh, I love a. So I didn't get a glass this time because I was hedging my bets that this looked like Coke, Pepsi. And sure enough, it looks like Pepsi. You're not missing anything. It's dark brown. Congratulations, we did it. So let's see. Oh, It smells like Pepsi, which is like a great start. And with that, bottoms up. I'll be damned. Um, that's actually pretty good. Um, Now, it does not taste like regular Pepsi, but it tastes pretty close to a diet Pepsi, and I would drink that most days of the week. Um, I'm really impressed by that. I don't know what I expected it to taste like. Again, still scarred from the Poppi classic soda that tasted like I was drinking apple cider vinegar. And I will tell you, every time I say apple cider vinegar, I really want to go boots with the fur. So have that for yourself now. But with the Pepsi, it tastes a whole lot like a diet Pepsi. That's easily drinkable. That's actually quite pleasant. Um, I if I was interested in the prebiotic soda thing, uh, I would drink that again. I frankly have no objection to drinking more of it now. Um, and that actually means maybe the cherry vanilla might even be better because it's got a different flavor in addition to the baseline of the cola flavor. I Good job, Pepsi. I'm super stoked by this. So again, TLDR, it tastes pretty good. You should totally get it if you are looking for a drink that is close to your regular soda, but offers perhaps a little bit of a health benefit in a way that like regular sodas don't. I'm Good job, man. I I wasn't expecting a lot and I was pleasantly surprised. I love that. Um Next week we're trying prebiotic cherry vanilla Pepsi. Just kidding. But I will go look for it. Um Next week though, we are trying Mr. Pibb's Punchin' Peach, which is utterly fascinating. We'll talk a little bit about why Mr. Pibb is on the rise. I've talked about this by some people in my own personal life, which sounds like a weird thing to be like, let me tell you in my personal life about the sodas that I talk about. But it's actually really fascinating and short reason why you're seeing an overflow of Mr. Pibb recently. But this is the first variant that I've spotted, and Mr. Weird found it for me. He found it when he was in Wisconsin. He got it from, I'm trying to remember, but it was from a rest area in Wisconsin. And I had never seen a variation on Mr. Pibb before. So I'm really looking forward to that because I do like Mr. Pibb. Um, until next time, drink weird and Um, I don't know, but if you are trying to drink fiber, I guess prebiotic soda is the way to go. I thought that's what Metamucil was for. Y'all, I'm just really confused about this whole thing. You'd think I'd figured it out by now, but I don't. So sorry. See you next time.